61 miles off the coast of California sits San Nicolas Island. It is a harsh stretch of land, constantly scoured by wind, completely devoid of trees, and lacking any steady source of fresh water. For generations, the Nicoleno people thrived in this environment, but in the early 19th century, their population was decimated, first by foreign diseases, and then by a violent massacre carried out by Russian fur hunters in 1814. By 1835, the Nicoleno population was so low that mainland authorities ordered a mission to remove the remaining survivors. But as the evacuation ship arrived offshore, a sudden, severe Pacific storm moved in. Loading small boats in the heavy surf caused mass confusion. A hasty headcount was taken by the crew, and it was wrong. Fearing their small vessel would be torn apart by the waves, the crew raised anchor and sailed away. When the ship disappeared permanently into the thick fog, one woman remained standing entirely alone on the shoreline. We are left to ask, what happens to a human being when they are suddenly stripped of their community, their language, and all possibility of rescue? On San Nicolas Island, exposure kills much faster than starvation. After the initial shock of abandonment, the woman turned her back on the empty horizon and began to work. She engineered shelters to resist gale-force winds. Using stone anchors, she interlocked curved whalebones into low-profile structures that deflected weather. Applying this precision to clothing, she carved fishbone needles to stitch animal skins into durable, waterproof outerwear. Starting a fire alone was difficult, but keeping it alive was a constant physical demand. She treated embers as living things, shielding them with her body and wrapping them carefully in dry material to transport during severe storms. Through these repetitions, her presence on the island moved past a temporary struggle against the elements. She had built a stable, engineered life. When there is no one to talk to, the concept of a day begins to shift. Without work schedules or festivals, the markers that give a human life its rhythm disappear. Instead of counting hours, she read environmental patterns. She monitored shifting sun angles and seasonal migrations of seals. Her spoken language also lost its utility. To ensure that she didn't lose the concept of sound entirely, she adapted by singing aloud, projecting melodies toward the birds and seals. Decades later, archaeologists would uncover the physical remnants of this discipline. They found shelters repeatedly rebuilt and garments that were meticulously patched over years of use. The precision of those seams and the methodical layout of her storage pits suggest an intellect that remained focused and structured, even after years without a single witness. By 1853, sailors traveling the coast began reporting smoke rising from the supposedly empty island. A seasoned sea otter hunter named George Nidover organized an expedition, expecting to find a broken feral castaway. Instead, he found a healthy, composed woman. She did not panic or hide. She calmly offered her visitors food, showing complete mastery over her isolated ecosystem. She agreed to leave, but arriving on the mainland triggered an immediate sensory overload. 18 years of wind and waves were instantly replaced by clattering tools, overlapping voices, and the dense infrastructure of Santa Barbara. This chart highlights a stark biological contrast: 18 years of stability on a harsh island, followed by a sudden decline in health. Her digestive system struggled with processed foods, and foreign bacteria easily bypassed an immune system that had been completely isolated. 7 weeks after she stepped onto the mainland, the woman baptized as Juana Maria died. Because her original name and native tongue were never recorded, her death marked the extinction of the Nicoleno language. She survived nearly 2 decades against the most hostile elements on Earth, only to be undone by the rescue itself.